Coming up today on Eagle Eyes on Tech, Instagram may or may not have had 17 million accounts attacked. We'll get into details as to why. Razer, yeah, the gaming company, is getting into AI. Dell has sobered up and is correcting course. We'll get into exactly how. And robots have completely taken over the Consumer Electronics Show. All that and more coming up today on Eagle Eyes on Tech. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or it's 2 a.m. Good morning, this is Eagle Eyes on Tech. I'm Eagle Falcon. I always start off by saying we have a lot to talk about today, but it's CES season. We have a lot, and I do mean a lot, to talk about today. And we're gonna start off with the non-news or the non-CES news, and then get into the silly news. And as also is tradition for us for CES, we, instead of the last burb, the weirdest story being the one we end on, we actually did, despite the fact that The Verge put up a paywall on their own site, do have the Verge CES Awards to make fun of at the very end. You don't want to miss it, because they always clearly smoked something illicit when they chose those awards, and this year is no different. But I want to know who is smoking what over at Instagram and Malwarebytes, because there's an argument now going on as to, has Instagram been hacked? This is the big question all of a sudden. A couple of days ago, Malwarebytes came out and said that they have detected a breach of 17 million accounts that have been leaked onto the dark web and are just out there for anyone to use. Instagram, however, says they have recently fixed a bug that allowed threat actors to mass request password reset emails amidst claim, or rather, and I mean, that's just it. Instagram has fixed a bug that allows threat actors to mass request password reset emails. So let me get this straight. We got Malwarebytes out there claiming there has been a breach of Instagram and that there's 17 million different accounts that had their data leaked out and are out there for all to see. And Instagram says, no. Nothing like that's going on. We recently fixed a bug that let people request password reset emails. So who's correct? Now, at this time, we don't have anything definitive, all right? Let's just get that out there right now. We don't know for certain. Malwarebytes is usually pretty reputable, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they just jump to conclusions. At the same time, Instagram is owned by Facebook, and Facebook has about the security professionalism of a paper bag, and about as secure as one too. It would not surprise me at all if Instagram has been breached and all they saw was part of the exploit, which allowed the attacker to mass request password reset emails, which could have been part of the way how they got in. And then Instagram's just saying, there's no problem. So at this point, what can you do? Well, for starters, you could have never used Instagram. Checkmate. Can't get hacked on Instagram if you never used Instagram. That's the galaxy brain move play right there. But assuming you were a sucker and actually did go ahead and use Instagram, the first step, of course, is to change your password. I don't know, because I do have an Instagram account just for the streams over at twitch.tv/EagleFalcon, but I don't use it that often. I just have a clip schedule that just uploads to the account, and that's it. I don't know if there's any kind of two-factor authentication. If there is, not the worst idea to enable that. I mean, that's pretty much all you can do. At this point, we really are just in a wait and see sort of mode. Although, gun to my head, who do I think is correct? I think Malwarebytes is. Instagram has always had the mentality I felt of like a squad of teenagers that are more Instagram users than they are administrators of the website. They've never really seemed to take a whole lot seriously. They very crappily went ahead and made a Twitter clone that didn't do all that well. They don't really innovate that much. They were just like, oh, TikTok popular, go make reels. That's like TikTok. Whatever, we're Instagram, we're popular, herder. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they were so incompetent that they were breached and thought all they had was a bug that let a bunch of password reset emails go out. Whether I'm right or wrong, I would err on the side of caution and just go ahead and reset passwords. Anyway, that is going to be the far smarter decision when push comes to shove. Speaking of the smarter decision, YouTube has actually enabled a good feature. I am just as stunned as you. The feature is absolutely genius. YouTube has enabled the ability for you to search for videos and filter out shorts automatically. To which all I can say is, first off, thank you. Thank you very much. And second, what took you so long? Why wasn't this a thing like immediately? For those who don't understand the terminology because you aren't terminally on YouTube, first off, good for you. Second, shorts are the YouTube equivalent of TikToks. YouTube has a feature on it called Shorts where you can put up vertical videos and they basically behave like TikTok videos where you just scroll endlessly and you get nothing of substance, you lose brain cells, and then you realize 3 hours have passed and you're 2 hours late for work. And you have accomplished nothing other than the sensation of realizing a lot of people are really stupid. You know, just like TikTok. And to answer your next question, yes, it is how the number 67 gets funny. You've rotted your brain on shorts and TikToks. Good job. So yeah, you can now filter out that nonsense, which also is going to filter out a large amount of AI generated crap. Although let me tell you, most of the AI generated nonsense, it is all on Twitter. Oh my God. You have not seen an AI generated cesspit until you have looked over videos on Twitter. Ooh, that is horrendous. You should also not do that for your sanity's sake. Just don't do it. Meanwhile, though, out of seemingly nowhere, GitHub has just straight up banned a bunch of adult game developers. Nobody knows why. It just kind of happened one day. Now, personally, I don't care. I mean, about the adult games. I could live with or without it. I do find it concerning that GitHub goes ahead and does a mass ban wave and then refuses to elaborate. That I have a big problem with. Especially since GitHub is supposed to be, you know, the place you go to when you want to go ahead and develop freely and share your open source projects freely. So to see that kind of just go away is very, very, very concerning. So we'll see if we get an explanation, but I'll just tell you right now, I don't think we're going to get one, but I also think the answer is actually Visa and MasterCard. I feel like that is the obvious answer. Someone in chat asks basically the exact same thing I was thinking out loud. Is it another Steam banning type of situation where external groups were bugging out about it? I think it is a external group, probably the same group, Collective Shout, going after payment processors pushing against GitHub. Because while GitHub doesn't actually, how does GitHub make its money? I want to say it's ads. I don't know if there is like a premium tier of GitHub or anything like that, or any hosting fees or anything. I don't know. I'm not exactly a developer to go ahead and host source code on GitHub, but I imagine it's something very similar to Steam. And I would assume it's collective shout going after payment processors to push against GitHub. And I say collective shout specifically because they're the exact kind of misguided dinguses to go ahead and do something like this. On the bright side, though, there is a bit of good news that was announced outside of CES, and that being that Bose, the makers of various smart speakers that use their own systems, but because it's their own systems, once it's end of life, there's no keeping it alive. Bose has decided to turn to open source to keep many of these devices alive after they reach end of life. You know what? Some of you might go down the road of, who cares? Oh man, doing the bare minimum over there, Bose. Go ahead and figure it out. I'm not gonna lie, this is a big win, whether you have one of these speakers or not, because it shows that a major company that normally is super closed source and super, we don't want anyone to mess with our stuff, to go, you know what, you want to go ahead and keep this stuff alive? Here you go. Go for it. Good luck. We're going to go ahead and work on it on the next speaker that makes a better version of this one. But if you want to keep this one alive, have at it. I gotta say, good on you, Bose. Good on you. I, for one, will go ahead and I'll go ahead and congratulate. Hopefully it stays that way. But we'll have to wait and see if this is the only thing that Bose does that will go ahead and follow this trend. Hopefully it's not. Now, this one, I don't know what to make of this, okay? So, headlines are saying, including The Guardian here, that Grok has turned off their image generator for most users after the whole thing last week of Grok being used to make very sexualized AI imagery, some of which is questionably legal AI imagery, to which, by the way, is the correct answer. However, here's the problem. All they have done is turned it off for free users. No. Twitter, no. You don't go ahead. When you have a PR nightmare like this, you don't just go ahead and say, oh, we'll disable it for the free users. First off, I had no idea that this was enabled for the free users. I just assumed, with how desperate Twitter is to go ahead and make money, based on the fact that every normal advertiser bailed out of Twitter, that something like image generation, which does take resources, would have been limited to paying users of the artist formerly known as Twitter anyway. So yeah, no, all the capabilities of making, I'm going to stick with the term questionably illegal material, just to cover the bases, but also, ew, beyond ew, sickos over there. I'm trying to do everything in my power not to swear about this, because the whole thing of what people have done with the with the Grok AI image editor is still super disgusting, and in some countries is illegal. Like, thanks to Mr. Johnny Somali, the idiot Twitch streamer who went ahead, I shouldn't say Twitch streamer, the idiot streamer who went over to harass people in Korea. We know over there that any kind of sexual deep faking is a crime. So doing this in Korea with Grok is illegal, with mandatory jail time. And that's excluding excuse me, And that's not even including the potential, like, underage stuff that people are doing. That's any kind of the sexualized AI imagery nonsense that's been going on. That would all be illegal 100%, no questions asked in South Korea. And I have no idea how many other countries follow that exact same kind of rule. So on one hand, I want to say this is a very good first step for Twitter. The problem is that it's not even a first step. It's not even a first shuffle step. It's not even a first lean. It's the illusion of taking action without actually taking action. And they should be called out on this. And they are being called out on this. As I actually don't know if I have the story or not. I actually had to axe quite a little bit because we have so many tabs up here. But I can tell you that there are talks in both the UK and the EU of straight up banning the artist formerly known as Twitter to the entire nation/union. You know, maybe this shouldn't be the hill you want to die on. Just saying. I mean, this is like the easiest PR nightmare to get out of. All you gotta do is say, whoops, that's not supposed to happen. Take down the AI image editor and say, we'll get back to you on this as we iron things out. That's all they had to do. That's it. PR nightmare over. That's all you had to do. Are they doing that? No. Just disable it for free users and give no statement. It really is a clown show over there. There's no other way you can look at that and see anything else. But then again, we kind of have known for a long time that it is, in fact, a clown show over there. Kind of like how Microsoft is a clown show. Microsoft has officially killed the only way you can activate Windows 11 or 10 without the internet. There always used to be an ability to call via the phone to activate pretty much almost every single Windows system that had a key and had an online activation system. There was a way to call in with the product key, get an activation code, and activate Windows. Well, now Windows 10 and 11 has officially killed the call, the phone line system with the ability to call in your product key. There is still a way to go ahead and activate using another online computer, but that's it. Although, to be fair, if you are having trouble activating Windows, may I recommend these steps? 1, uninstall Windows and instead pick a Linux distro that fits your taste and install that instead. This gets around the Windows activation problem like that. And you don't even have the guilt of piracy. Not gonna lie, it's getting easier and easier to be a Linux activist lately. Easier and easier. We're actually gonna take an early break here. When we come back, I want to get into some of the CES announcements. We're gonna start with the big ones from the big boys, and then move on to some of the stranger stuff. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Welcome back, Eagle Eyes on Tech. I'm Eagle Falcon. Doing everything we can to save on RAM, clearly. All right, so CES announcements. Oh, I went into CES expecting very, very little. Like, there's no other way to say it. Going into CES, I expected next to nothing. Because what are you going to announce? We know almost all technology is going to grind to a halt because nobody has any RAM. There's also more and more reports showing that, quite frankly, no one might have RAM until 2028 at the earliest, which is insane. I think the bubble's going to pop well before then. but I think it's going to be a while for the market to recover from the bubble popping. And by the market, I mean like the computer parts market to recover, not the market. When that bubble finally does pop for AI, oh man, I don't think anyone can accurately say exactly how much the overall market is going to suffer when that bubble pops. But in any case, here's what I'm going to do for you guys, all right? The various keynotes that the major manufacturers went ahead and had were hours long, okay? Hours long. And since this is CES, the consumer electronics show, I am going to cut all news that any of the major manufacturers said that is not related to the consumer. Deep down, you're hoping I'm just going to cut to credits right now, aren't you? Admit it. You want that to be the joke, where it just immediately goes to, that's the end of the podcast, right there, done. No. It's not quite that bad. I can tell you that AMD did announce the Ryzen 7 9850X3D, which is, I guess, technically when it launches, probably going to be the fastest gaming processor out there. Can you get a GPU to feed it? No, but it'll be there, I guess. In addition, though, I forgot to get did I get a slide for it actually? Let me quickly take a look. Nope, I didn't. Okay, there we go. AMD also announced that they have new, what we've kind of all referred to as Halo Strix CPUs. These are specifically referred to as the Ryzen AI processors because they go ahead and have because they have NPUs on them, but more importantly, it's the fact that they're CPUs that have a high-end like PS5 grade GPU on it as well. They announced new versions of that have the same high-end GPU but lower core counts to reduce costs, which, you know, honestly, pretty good. Someone in chat asked, did they announce new AM4 chips? No. In fact, if we want to just cut out all the corporate stuff, all the AI stuff, that's all they had. That's literally all they had. Moving on, Intel. They announced Panther Lake, a new laptop platform that might be good. Yay? Oh, but wait. You don't understand. They also announced, oh yeah, nothing else. Yeah, no. If you were hoping they were going to announce the B770 GPU, no, they did not. They announced some stuff that they're hoping to bring forth to the forefront of AI, but nothing that really matters. Qualcomm, on the other hand, says they are working on the next-gen robotics architecture for their processors over at CES. So, I mean, ARM-powered robots, so that the robots can now be armed. It's so funny. Oh, yeah, we got nothing. But now NVIDIA. Oh, NVIDIA announced plenty of stuff for the Consumer Electronics Show. They announced DLSS 4.5. So you can use the power of AI to upscale your games more. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, okay, they also did announce a new AI architecture, the Rubin, but the Rubin is also a sandwich, so clearly they must have missed something. They also did announce, just to make sure that all art is dead, NVIDIA also announced they have reached a deal with Universal Music Group to let the power of AI completely ruin all official music, so that now you can get even more AI slop music. Like, all I can do is just shake my head and sigh. I want to be able to do more, but I can't. I just have to keep shaking my head and sighing. We got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Because NVIDIA might have new GPUs. Okay. Finally, something we can use. All right. NVIDIA has announced absolutely nothing. This is actually a rumor. But the rumor says that there's going to be no RTX 5000 Super Series. Or if there is, there's going to be a massive delay on it thanks to the memory crisis. The rumor also says that AMD is also not doing anything for the same reasons. Well, at least we don't have the super nonsense to deal with. But if you are hoping for a GPU, there is some good news. Because you see, all right, AI really only cares about one thing. Besides the downfall of humanity, AI really only wants DDR5 RAM. They want the fastest RAM they can get their hands on. The fastest, right? So older RAM is safe. More and more rumors are popping up that we could see the return of the GeForce RTX 3060. You know what the worst part is? The performance of the 3060 is not that much less than a 5060. Actually, the real funny thing is the fact that in my streaming rig, I have a 4060, and in my gaming PC, I actually have a 3060 Ti. So if either of these two cards die, I can downgrade. See, this is going to be the problem, though, that NVIDIA has, all right? Those who actually do have a need, that they are mid-build, and they need a GPU to finish the build, they got a problem. The problem is very simple. Why would they go get a brand new card if the brand new card is going to be a 3060 and there's going to be a used market filled with other older cards that are better because the 3060 was kind of just an okay card when it launched? This is the future. This is the future. Embracing a 5-year-old card. Look out. You know what the worst part is? You look at all this going on and you wonder, why don't they just build more fabs? If there's this massive RAM shortage, why not just quickly build more fabs to go ahead and make more RAM? Seems easy, right? Well, besides the fact that the RAM manufacturing companies don't want to be left holding the bag when the AI bubble pops, it's the fact that fabs are a massive investment, both money-wise and time-wise. Micron has come out and said they actually want to build a plant in New York. Where in New York, I don't know. But the plant is going to cost roughly $100 billion to build and won't be finished until 2041. And keep in mind, this is assuming Micron can get approval from the state of New York to even do this. No, that doesn't mean they have to go through Mayor Mondani or whatever his name is. They have to go through the governor. $100 billion to build and 15 years to build the planned plant. Someone in chat said not 31, not 31, 41. Because here's the thing. You remember how one of the biggest fun talking points for anti-AI activists is the water consumption of AI data centers? The thing is that that's a closed loop system. Once you fill the loop, you're not losing a whole lot of water. Like, that's not an issue. A fab, on the other hand, needs to not only consume tons, and I do mean tons of water, but it also has to be very, very, very pure water. We're talking distilled several times over. And the best part is that after they use the water is then contaminated. So these plants also have to include a way to treat the water they're using to put it back in, because otherwise they are just an environmental hazard. So along with the fab, you have to have a way to go ahead and consume fresh water and treat the fresh water before returning it back to the water supply. Also, by the way, assuming that this plant going into New York is going to be drawing water from, what is that, Lake Erie, I think it is? Or is it Lake Huron? Whichever great, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure New York actually touches 2 of the Great Lakes. Whichever. The point is that because they go ahead and I've been corrected, it's Ontario and Erie. Look, I just touched the big one, all right? The one that looks like a flaccid. Anyway, the point is that there is a consortium made up of multiple states and Canada that govern over how the water from the Great Lakes is used. In fact, where I'm at here in Waukesha, Wisconsin, in order for us here to go ahead and get fresh drinking water from Lake Michigan, they had to get the approval of all members of the Great Lakes Consortium to agree. So they had to go in. So not only for this plant do they have to go ahead and get the approval of the state of New York, they also have to get approval of many other states, that being Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, crazier Michigan, and Wisconsin, and Canada. They have to get all that approved before they even dream of beginning construction. Someone close to the area says that this one was one of the ones announced years ago. I wouldn't doubt that. People in chat are saying that this thing's actually much further along than the article I have here, which is just well, I didn't actually want to get the article up because they want money. And also apparently are late to the party. But this is just to like get an idea of those who are hoping that it's just like, oh yeah, they'll just pop up some plants and this will all be over. No problem. These sort of things, this was my whole point. These sort of things take a long time to approve and finalize. And also, let me tell you, from the pretty okay state of Wisconsin, we had one of these big deals too. We had Foxconn saying they were going to manufacture high-end LCD and OLED screens right in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Guess how many screens have come out of that factory? 0. Foxconn bailed. There's somebody else in the building that Foxconn began to build. I forgot exactly who. Actually, for all I know, it was turned into more Amazon storage. Actually, you know what it very well could be? For all I know, it could be the world's largest frickin' Spirit Halloween. For all I know. Someone in chat said it's a Microsoft data center. It very well could be. At the same time, though, I do kind of low-key want to imagine it's now a giant Spirit Halloween, because that's really, really funny. But it's okay that all this is happening with AI, because now AI is now in Gmail. So you can get AI instant answers and a redesigned AI inbox. Isn't that what you want? Don't you want AI to be shoved down your throat aggressively? Isn't that what you want? Your daily routine that you do on the regular for communication, to just have machines go ahead and interpret everything for you? Isn't that great? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't everything great? I can't stress enough how much this is unnecessary. How much we absolutely do not, under any circumstances, need to have AI integrated into Gmail. But by God, it's coming whether you like it or not. But you know what? At least I know Gmail won't go ahead and chart and increase my price tag by 150%. I'm still salty about that QuickBooks. I really, really am. Super salty. Meanwhile, though, Razer. Oh, Razer. Ooh. Razer has come out and at CES announced that they are working with Tens Torrent to go ahead and help advance AI. Really, man? Really? This is your why Razer, the gaming company? Razer, do you have any idea how much gamers want AI in their lives? You know, the thing single-handedly responsible for all PC gamers to be fully depressed. You want to know why PC gamers are completely and utterly depressed? It is 100% AI. And the fact that their hobby, the thing they love to do, the going ahead and looking at, oh, I can keep upgrading my system. Well, now you freaking can't. All thanks to AI. And also, it's going to be the thing also responsible for there being no PlayStations or Xboxes available because they can't build them, all thanks to the power of AI. But yeah, sure, go ahead, partner with AI. Here's the real question, though. How is Razer going to implement AI? Well, let me tell you. Razer has the perfect way to implement AI. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the AI-powered goon jar. Now, I'm going to wait a minute, all right? I'm going to wait a minute because you're going to want to do the same thing I did. You're going to want to check your calendar. I assure you, it's not April 1st. This is a real thing that was really announced by Razer. It is an LED tube with a hologram in it that will be an AI companion that can look like a disembodied Razer logo. The cat girl waifu you are inevitably going to go ahead and choose. This Australian guy that just wants to go back to, Australia. Esports legend Faker that looks like everything that's wrong with esports. And then, of course, generic Eastern office gal. Any one of them can go ahead and basically be a text-to-speech AI-powered chatbot in a jar that'll give you gaming tips, allegedly. You know what? I'll ask, why? Who actually wants this? Who's gonna wake up in the morning and go, oh, thank God. Thank God I can have an Amazon smart speaker, but it basically having an anime waifu projected inside a tube instead of it just being, a ring. Someone in chat says this isn't the first time it's been done. It was on a Kickstarter before. How successful is this Kickstarter? Also, it would not surprise me at all if, in fact, how old is this anyway? Someone in chat says, I thought you covered the Kickstarter before. Nope. Here's the difference, though. All right. So this Kickstarter has raised $1.5 million of the $10,000 they originally asked for. This is a concept rather than a real product being shown. When do they actually expect to launch this thing? This DePaul D1. Allegedly, they expect this to launch 3 months ago. I don't know. This is the first I've ever heard of this. The other thing is that I also don't think it actually is like, well, the bottom line is that, all right, look, it's a cute little thing. I don't know what this is powered by as far as the AI. I do know what the Razer one is powered by. I know the AI one is powered by Grok, or I know the Razer one is powered by Grok. So this one that Razer is showing off that I don't know who this is for. I don't know what the other one is for either. The other one that apparently did launch. And actually, for all we know, Razer saw the other one, saw it raised $1.5 million and went, we should totally do that. Quite possible. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Razer decided to go down that route. My question still stands now, not only for the Razer one, but for the other one I completely forgot about, the DePaul. Why? Just why would you do that? And here's the thing, like, it'd be one thing if Razer wants to go ahead and go into AI for the purpose of just like promoting their waifu hologram thing. Like, that's one thing, all right? This next one is almost inexcusable for just how bad a product it is. Razer also announced the Forge AI Dev Kit, a rack-mountable AI workstation that is compatible with a Razer's new AI kit, has extreme performance with multi-GPU for up to 4 graphic cards, and are configurable with workstation class processors and 8 DIMMs of you can't buy this RAM, as well as high-speed dual 10 gigabit Ethernet and a 2000 watt power supply. Razer, I don't know if you've actually ever seen workstations, AI workstations otherwise, but this is the lamest workstation I have ever seen in my life. It really is just a basic baby mode workstation with an air cooler on the Ryzen Threadripper processor, 4 blower cooled, and according to their render, completely plugged, one on top of the other GPU so that the 3 above the one on the bottom can't get airflow, air-cooled GPUs inside a basic tower with a perforated front and maybe 3 fans. Oh, but you don't understand, Eagle. You don't understand. You can rack mount it. Ooh. You can, because they're AI, you know, AI people like racks. You can put it in a rack. Oh, look how much better it is all of a sudden. It can be in a rack. This is a laughably bad workstation. Even if you were, let's pretend you are an AI, you know, developer for a moment. Okay. Let's pretend you need this kind of rig. Most of you don't, but let's pretend you do. Okay. For an actual workstation, Dell, HP, and Lenovo have a far better and a far superior workstation platform. Between the Precision 79, whatever we're up to now, the HP Z8, and Lenovo, whatever the heck their model is, that has the option of not just the one Threadripper CPU, but the option of going dual CPUs for more bandwidth to the GPUs, for the ability to have more RAM to feed your AI models, not to mention upwards of 5 high-end GPUs for all of them. But also look at that, we can go ahead and rack mount it. So you can take up, you know, 4 to 5 U of your 42U server space for one AI workstation. That's great, isn't it? Oh my God. That's 4 GPUs and 4 U's. That's so impressive. You know, I hate to break it to you, geniuses over at Razer. This right here is a real rack mount AI system that is not a custom solution, that is just drop and play that Dell has. This is a basic nonsense system. This is the Dell EMC DSS 8440. In either the same amount of rack space or one fewer rack space than your system, it can house 10 GPUs and twice the amount of CPU, which also means it can handle double to triple the amount of RAM as your system. Razer, this is embarrassing. There's no other way to phrase this. You're not powering the next AI breakthrough. you're instead just going to be slapped in the face by people who actually know how to design hardware. You have brought nothing unique to the table other than an RGB front logo. And all this does is drag your reputation through the mud with the one core demographic you have: gamers. F minus minus. It's beyond disappointing. Meanwhile, though, in things that Razer made that are actually interesting, Razer did make an AI-assisted wearable headset, which doesn't have any way to see AI or if it's supposed to use AR or anything, but it's supposed to be able to go ahead and use these cameras to be able to enhance what you see, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing here. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what this is supposed to do. They are showing like a video of like a streamer kind of doing a cooking stream. Is that what this is supposed to be for? Is this just a really expensive way to go ahead and do cooking streams? You know what? Actually, that might be the best. You know what? If that's all this thing is for, that actually might be the best product that Razer has revealed at CES. I think they might actually be onto something. The only downside is I wouldn't be able to view my chat. That would in fact be the only downside. Finally, of course, Razer revealed the one thing they are the best at, and that is making strangely shaped gamer gear with RGB on it. Introducing Project Madison, a gaming chair with speakers built into it and RGB lighting. You know what? I'm not even mad. It's about the most Razer thing they could possibly make. Like this really does track for Razer. But yeah, that is so far what Razer has announced at CES. We're going to take another break here. When we come back, Dell finally showing they can actually listen to the consumer market, an ability that apparently every other major company does not seem able to do. Don't go anywhere. We will be back. Welcome back, Eagle Eyes on Tech. I'm Eagle Falcon. All right, more CES coverage. But first, this little insight. PC Guide, after doing a whole lot of research to see what other manufacturers are doing, has concluded that we can expect gaming laptop prices to rise by nearly 20% this year. Now, I want to stress this is specifically gaming laptops, because gaming laptops double hit on the need for RAM. They need regular RAM just to game, and they also need VRAM for the GPU. So where a normal laptop might only need 16 gigs, gaming laptops usually want 32, and then they're going to have another 8 to 12 on the discrete GPU itself. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all, especially with some reports also saying that they expect RAM prices to increase by another 60 to 70%, specifically to server customers. Which here's what I'll say about that. The whole, there's going to be a lot of reports saying like you're going to see 60, 70, 80, 90, 100% price increase to RAM. I would honestly say at this point, we're kind of past the threshold for the average consumer anyway. We're already at nearly a 400 to 500% price increase on standard DDR5 RAM. Heck, I have a recently built DDR5 rig here with another 32 gigs of RAM sitting up there waiting to go into a second build as I'm finally like upgrading the system. Guess what? I probably could, if I found a buyer, sell the RAM in this system and get 2 good used workstations on DDR4 or DDR3 and possibly have enough money left over to pay rent. So, I mean, from the consumer point of view, what's another 100% price increase? Who cares at that point? You already weren't going to go ahead and buy any more anyway. Anyone who was considering building a new rig, if they haven't already secured their RAM, they're now looking at the used parts market. They're looking at going backwards in generation. They're looking at, socket AM4 where you could use DDR4 RAM. They're looking at whatever the heck Intel had at the time. They might even be looking at used workstations like I used to do. Just anything but brand new. Because brand new right now is unaffordable. It is unobtainable. So yeah, only 20% price increase on gaming laptops. I'm not surprised. And to some people, that might not be the worst way to go. Heck, used gaming laptop or used workstation laptop also might not be the worst way to go. So I mean, yeah, 20% price increase on the laptops. When push comes to shove, not really a surprise at all. And don't think just gaming laptops are going to be affected by this. Regular laptops, you can probably expect a 10% price increase. Macs, you can expect a 7,000% price increase. Even Android laptops, you could probably expect like a 5-10% price increase. Phones, you can probably expect about a good 10% price increase. It's just what you really can expect just because of all the RAM shortages. There was a fear for a while that we were going to be seeing the same thing out of SSDs. There might be some of that, a little bit of that SSD prices going up, but it is a rounding error compared to how high RAM is going. And if all the reports are right and not just fear mongering, it's gonna be that way for a couple of years. So, which really just goes back to the whole, Razer, Mr. Gamers First, the company. Mr. We throw RGB on everything because we are for gamers by gamers. Why on earth would you pick this year to build the world's worst, and I do want to stress, the world's worst designed AI workstation and then an AI powered waifu in a tube? Come on, man. This is just basic stuff. It's just Razer. Come on, man. I don't think Razer could look more tone deaf if they tried. And it is just shocking that they went this route. You know what else is shocking though? There is one major tech company right now that has done something I don't think any other major tech company has done. They went ahead and actually looked at consumer behavior, and they have come to a shocking conclusion. Consumers don't buy anything based on the fact that it has AI. I know. What an insane discovery. The average consumer does not care about AI. So, who is this company? Who made this life-changing discovery? Was it Apple? Was it Microsoft? No. Of all the companies that made this discovery, it's Dell. It's freaking Dell. The most boomer of freaking PC makers on the planet. And keep in mind, Dell currently, their enterprise division, makes tons upon tons of enterprise grade AI solutions. On top of also just, making a competent and actually a very good workstation that can do AI. Unlike Razer, who took a basic Threadripper board, shoved an air cooler on it, and put 4 cards airtight into each other so that all 4 of those AI cards would suffocate. No, I can't get over that. I cannot get over the fact that Mr. Gaming Company put negative thought into cooling for an AI workstation. It is It's I can't get over how badly Razer failed. Now, here's the other thing. All right. So last year, however, Razer did, or I'm sorry, not Razer. Dell did make one foolish decision. I made fun of it. You made fun of it if you were unfortunate enough to actually know they did this. Everyone who knew about it made fun of it. And it was the fact that they took the brain rot approach to naming their laptops. That they wanted to go ahead and go with the Dell Plus, the Dell Pro, and the Dell Max. The downside of this approach, besides being, the dumbest thing you ever heard, is the fact that no one knew what was what. And despite the fact that Dell is one of the oldest computer brands out there, they still have very iconic build names. You know about the Dell Dimensions and the Dell Inspirons. They're low-end, budget-friendly consumer laptops and desktops that are not the best quality. You know about the Dell XPS, their original gaming line that ended up becoming their kind of prosumer line. No real fancy hardware inside, but it did everything you wanted it to do and was built very well. You know about the Dell Alienware line, which was just Dell buying up some bros in a garage and then going ahead and having them build real computers that couldn't cool themselves. And if you're in the business line, you know about the Vostros, the rock solid will never frickin' die no matter how hard you try Dell Latitudes. And of course, my laptop of choice, and is still, and I actually still have one of these laptops, the Dell Precision, the mobile workstation line. So why get rid of all that? And in fact, Dell did decide, not only are we going to have an epiphany realizing that nobody cares about AI, but they are in fact reverting their laptop naming scheme, including reviving and bringing back the Dell XPS, which pretty much is their flagship consumer laptop. So the way it's going to work now is that for everyday use, it's going to be the Dell XPS and the Dell. The Inspiron and Dimension names are gone. Well, let's be honest. Nobody thinks there's any prestige to a Dell Inspiron anymore. We all know. We all know nowadays. There's the Dell Alienware. That's going to be their gaming line. Now, this decision I disagree with. For office use, they're calling it the Dell Pro. Bring back the Latitudes! Back when I refurbished laptops, do you have any idea how many Latitudes I sold? How many people sought out Dell Latitudes and also ThinkPads? Dude, Dell Latitude had a name recognition. Like, people knew what the Latitude stood for. It stood for, this laptop will never die unless it hits a truck. And then if it was one of the Latitude rugged ones that they sell to police officers, it might actually survive being hit by the truck. But then we have the Dell Pro Precision coming back. Purpose built. We still have the Dell Pro Rugged, Dell Pro Essentials, and Dell Pro Education. So I mean, props to Dell being the one tech company on the planet that actually seems to know how to use their freaking ears and listen to their customers almost. Because I don't know about the rest of you who have family that knows you're the tech guy and asks you a question, but I am sick and tired of people asking me, how do I get rid of Copilot? Or how do I get rid of Gemini? And I have to smirk at them painfully and say, that's the neat part. You don't. Maybe that's my mission after I go ahead and switch my main workstation off Linux and find a way to do it. I get everyone else to switch to Linux. So then I could go there. I got rid of Copilot. You're welcome. Hopefully the bubble will just burst by then. Though on the downside, speaking of brands being resurrected, here's brands being killed. SanDisk, who by the way now owns the Western Digital line of SSDs, is now rebranding all Western Digital SSDs as SanDisk Optimus. What was formerly WD Blue is now SanDisk Optimus, and what was WD Black is now Optimus Pro. Someone in chat said just wait for another year, and when the bubble doesn't burst, and then Dell will be sore. Here's the thing, right? Dell is playing both sides, and this is what's brilliant about Dell. On the consumer side, they know their customers don't like AI, so they're just like, you know what? Here, no push. Here's just computers. We're not going to push any AI nonsense. They're just there. You do what you want to do. But then on their enterprise side, they are still going to produce in mass their massive GPU servers. I was showing one earlier when Razer was trying to say, we can fit 4 GPUs and 5U on a rack mount system. We're so on the edge of AI. And I'm like, Dell can do 10 GPUs and 4U, get wrecked. And I know when you shell out the big bucks and actually go with the custom solutions for water cooling and whatnot, Dell can get 4 AI GPUs in 1U. So Razer thinking 4 GPUs and a 5U rack mount chassis is good really just shows how rotten their brains are, or how little they've researched their dive into the world of AI. That, and let's be honest, anyone who's actually gonna shell out that kind of money for a quad GPU system, they're not gonna go to Razer for it. You're gonna go to Lenovo, you're gonna go to HP, you're gonna go to Dell, because they've been building the multi-GPU workstations for decades. And guess what? They haven't sucked at it. Unlike Razer. I think the part that offends me the most is that I can build a better AI workstation off scraps bought off eBay. No, I won't let it go. They put 4 air-cooled GPUs freaking airtight next to each other. What are you doing? I still can't get over that. Someone in chat asked, you can, but why would I want to? I think the only reason I'd want to is if I'm being paid. That if it's someone else's rig and they paid me more than I'm paying for the parts. Beyond that, I have no idea. Yeah, profit I think is the only motivation there. But yeah, SanDisk went ahead, replaced WD Blues with SanDisk Optimus, WD Blacks with Optimus Pro, and I'm greatly disappointed we don't have any WD Reds or any I forgot what was the name of the like crazy high performance brand that WD had. Was that the yellows? The point is we don't have anything named Optimus Prime. And yes, I am stealing that joke from chat. Massive disappointment. And all I can do is shake my head at that. What can you do? What can you do? Well, instead, we can go ahead and look at Asus building a laptop for CES, and that being this one that is not practical at all, but it was designed to look like you stole it straight from Death Stranding. Asus has showcased at CES the Hideo Kojima laptop, and it very much looks like a briefcase, with the only exception being that it runs on a kickstand for some reason. To which I mean, it's fine. I don't know why this thing is built like a tablet instead of like a real laptop. That's a little confusing to me. I mean, it's thick enough. You could have just put a real hinge on it, but you know, otherwise, hey, good on you. Neat design out of Asus. Now, this is actually specifically going to be oh wait, no, that's just a case that it fits into. Okay, my bad. But this is going to be designed on the ROG Flow Z13. The Flow, if I remember right, was their gaming tablet that ran Windows. So this should have like an entry-level gaming GPU, probably something akin to like a 5060 in it. Battery life of probably about 3-4 hours. Or maybe, I don't know. Do they actually say what the specs are on this? Oh, here we go. It actually is doing exactly what I thought they might. It is running the AMD Ryzen AI Max Plus 3395. Now I can already tell what you're thinking. Oh, Eagle, you foolish fool. That chip has the word AI in it. That means it's bad automatically. No. You have to understand. The AI Max Plus is a unique chip from AMD. It is what we referred to as the Halo Strix CPUs. This CPU is an all-in-one package that has anywhere from 8 to 16 CPU cores. In this case, it's 16. And a GPU built into it equivalent to what you'd find on a PS5. Or is it a PS4? The point is that it has integrated GPU that is console quality. I actually should very quickly look up before I get like flamed out, because the difference between a PS4 and a PS5 is drastic. The specific of the GPU is the Radeon 8060S. But the point is that it's a very high performance mobile SoC. Actually, just a very quick glance at it. It's not quite at PS5 levels, but it is pretty close to a PS5 Pro. Or sorry, a PS4 Pro. So I mean, for a mobile product, it actually is very impressive. So yeah, not a bad gaming tablet at all. Now, granted, this specific one's going to come at a premium because it's designed after Death Stranding and whatnot. But you know, that tablet does exist without the whole Kojima tie-in. HP also went ahead and showed off their latest Omnibooks, which of course are getting an upgrade to Intel's own AI processors. So you can go ahead and enjoy the wonderful ability of AI being shoved down your throat, whether you like it or not. I mean, I know it's going to be a feature on everything because Microsoft really is the core culprit. It's just Windows utilizing the NPUs built into the AI capable CPUs and whatnot. I get that, but it has OLED screens though. Yay! And of course, the higher end ones, including all the way up to the Omnibook Ultra, go more and more in, but the whole lineup's going to be AI capable. It's just that the Ultra version is going to have more of it because it's going to have more unified RAM. And all I can do is just sigh. Samsung also went ahead and showed off their new laptops, specifically the Galaxy Book 6. These are ones, I actually forgot, are these are the Windows powered ones, right? Yeah, these are their Windows powered ones. So if you were one of the ones that went ahead and wanted Samsung to copy Apple and put Windows on it, here you go. That is basically the kind of design we're looking at here with this MacBook Pro looking laptop. Look at this. That is 100% a MacBook Pro, like to a T. I know Samsung really badly just wants to be the Apple alternative, but this is sad. This really is just sad. And their smaller version goes wedge-like, just like the MacBook Airs, except they actually do one thing the MacBook Airs don't do, and that's have an HDMI port. These laptops, however, are x86 based, meaning that they will have Intel chips in them, not Qualcomm ARM chips. They'll also have options for RTX GPUs, including the 5070 and 5060, pretty much what you'd expect from a MacBook Pro, and are probably going to, and considering how much Samsung charges lately, it's also going to cost a lot, like a MacBook Pro. My disappointment is immeasurable. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe it'll actually be price competent, but then again, I've seen how much they charge for phones that aren't their budget phones. Acer went ahead and decided to go ahead to release Creator ultra thin laptops. These, of course, are going to be powered by both Intel and AMD. Acer doesn't discriminate like that. And these ones are going to be able to kind of do a trick that you've really only seen a lot on Lenovo laptops. Most laptops will go ahead and open to about the 270 degree mark, or not 270 degree. It's about what, the 120 mark. It's not like a full 180, but like they'll never lay flat. ThinkPads will lay flat. This new line of Acer Aspire and their Swifts will in fact lay flat. So you'll have these new ones are going to be the Acer Swift Edge, the 14 and the 16. These are the ones that will lay flat. The Aspires are going to be pretty simple, but they are going to support AI, whether you like it or not. And that is kind of what they're showing off more as of late. Like, I know it's not their fault that the laptop supports AI. Maybe I'm just sick of hearing it because we've now heard Dell openly say, yeah, no, we're not going to push AI. Customers don't want it. So why bother pushing that as a selling feature? Dell, how did Dell spoil me? How did Dell, the gold standard of mediocrity, spoil us? Like, I still can't get over that. Of all the computer manufacturers out there, it's Dell that went ahead and is the most sensible. That's crazy. MSI also is launching their new Prestige line. Actually, I think it's an old line, but nobody paid attention to them. These are the MSI laptops that are not intended for gaming. Mostly because they expect that gamers aren't going to want to get gaming laptops that cost a lot more than they normally do. So they're focusing more on the Prestige line that they have. These are more creation and kind of everyday focused. These are ones that are going to go ahead. We have a 14-inch model, 16-inch model, and ones that actually look like they belong in a room. Other than, I mean, like, you could show up to a business meeting and not be embarrassed. Like, if you bring an MSI laptop that is just a gaming machine with RGB everywhere, oh, you will be judged. You will be judged, and it will be really funny. But both these laptops are more focused on battery life as well as their higher end stealth laptops. These are supposed to be mid-range kind of gaming laptops that aren't like crazy high end, but do have discrete graphic cards. We've seen these before. It's just the newer ones are a touch more discreet. Before they had RGB keyboards, now they don't. There'll be a 16-inch and 18-inch variant, to which I say, huzzah, huzzah, neat. And then, of course, they showed off their new gaming ones, too, which, no surprise there. Do I have any more laptops to talk about? We actually don't have any more laptops to talk about. Why don't we actually take a break right here? We've been yapping for about a good half hour. When we come back, we got more fun little CES things to go ahead and power through, plus the Verge CES Awards. Don't go anywhere. We will be back. Welcome back, Eagle Eyes on Tech. I'm Eagle Falcon. All right, let's get into monitors and TVs for a second here. First off, of course, it wouldn't be Dell at CES unless they went ahead and revealed this little number. Yet another Dell UltraShock monitor, which is a massive 52-inch 6K ultra widescreen monitor. Why? Just why? Now I personally don't see the point of ultra wides. I mean, I kind of do, but if push came to shove, I'd rather just have multiple monitors. It's nice to have the whole uninterrupted, no bezel sort of thing. But like with multiple monitors, I can go ahead and adjust ones, bring it to exactly where I want, tweak things. Better for window management, in my opinion. But I mean, if you want something that is massive and at 6K resolution, by God, here you go. I like that. It's a professional. It's on the Ultra Sharp series. It's for professionals. It's insane. Completely and utterly insane. Not that it matters a whole lot more because, of course, in the TV world right now, you've got high-end LCDs and you have OLEDs. But you also have micro LED, where the screen really is made up of itty bitty, teeny tiny little LEDs. And Samsung has the first 130-inch micro LED RGB TV. And by God, is that not a real product? There is no other way to say it. That is not a real product. That is a demo unit. There is no way. There is no way people are going to go ahead and buy a massive 130-inch flippin' TV that looks like it's on a display easel. You are going to have a very hard time convincing me that the product is going to launch exactly like this. Also, the thing has AI in it, because of course it does. It has AI football mode, AI sound controller, and live translation. Live translate's actually kind of nice. A generative wallpaper. Samsung's a company I am liking less and less as time goes on. They continue to let you have control over your product and continue to just force things in you don't want. My personal favorite is still the refrigerator with a screen on it that shows ads, which by the way has come back at CES and now will open automatically when you say open sesame. And that sounds like a cool gimmick you'd want on a normal fridge. The problem is that there's no door handles. It is the only way to open the fridge. You're going to get sick of that real quick. You're also going to be really pissed when that motor fails too. LG, of course, is showing off their new tandem OLED panels. Tandem OLED means that there's two panels of OLEDs in the TV layered on top of each other for even more brightness and higher contrast than just one OLED panel. We see this in kind of high-end monitors, and here LG is showing it off in a TV. So, yay. Neat tech. Meanwhile, I forgot to include this when I was talking about laptops. Lenovo has a new gaming laptop that has a neat trick. It starts as a 14-inch laptop, but the screen is a rollable OLED screen. So if they push with a button, it expands horizontally and can reach all the way up to I believe it is a 24-inch? Yeah, 24-inch. It can go to either a 21-inch or all the way out to a 24-inch ultra-wide screen with this rollable tech. Interesting. Of course, the screen is a bit chunkier. That's probably one of the two reasons why they went ahead and made it a gaming laptop, because gamers don't care about the chunk. They care about the performance. So, hey, interesting product. Let's see if it hits the market. Speaking of interesting product that may or may not hit the market, I want to introduce you to probably the most intriguing product in all of CES. And I do mean it. This is easily the most intriguing thing at CES. And it's not from Dell. It's not from HP. It's not from Razer. It's not from any company you've ever heard of. I take that back. It is from a company you've heard of. It's just not one you'd expect at CES. The company is Lego. Yes, Lego is at the Consumer Electronics Show. And what they're showing off are Legos with LEDs and sensors in every single brick. So that based on how various bricks interact, will change on what they do. And as far as I'm aware, you can program how they change. So for example, you could build a car out of Legos, a small one, mind you, put the rider in it, and the smart brick would change now that the person is in it, like it would turn on headlights. This is really interesting. And I don't know to what degree you could customize things, but this really kind of feels like all the kind of, what's the right word? It has all of the intrigue of, say, like discovering redstone exists in Minecraft for the first time. This system actually does have a date. It is expected to launch March 1st of this year, 2026. And we'll have to see how it all expands. Not gonna lie, that is one of the more intriguing things. Meanwhile, for CES, OpenAI has given you a health app. How many of you trust a OpenAI with a health app? Is the answer no one? I mean, I really should hope for the best and prepare for the worst. I should hope that ChatGPT Health ends up being a very good product and actually does help better and save lives. I really should. But the problem is that generative AI trying to go ahead and do these sort of tasks has proven that I need to think otherwise. Every time. Every single freaking time. I have just been proven that it ends up being a letdown. We'll have to wait and see exactly how this goes, but I don't see it. Again, I want to be wrong. I really do. But this just seems like a really bad idea. All I can do is wait and see. By the way, Bosch introduced a new fancy coffee machine, but it's not just any coffee machine. Oh, no. Because, of course, this coffee machine is blessed with the power of AI. Which means, thanks to the AI and the power of Amazon's assistant, it'll be able to, just by your voice, be able to make specific coffee drinks to your desire. It's supposed to be hands-free barista style skills in a coffee maker. Oh, really? You know, if it works. Fantastic. But I got a gut feeling. And again, it just comes back to the AI thing. It's going to let you down when you need it the most. Also, the thought of using a coffee maker that's actually my voice. Who else is imagining you getting up in the morning, look at the coffee maker and go, and just like not being awake enough to like get out your words clear enough for the mic to pick you up correctly? Well, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. It's just all we can do. Meanwhile, there's actually quite a bit of keyboard news of all things. For starters, Corsair finally did the one thing you thought they would have done a long time ago. Corsair has combined their pretty decent and pretty good mechanical keyboards with the technology of another company they own. That being the Stream Deck from Elgato. Remember, Corsair owns Elgato now. And in fact, they have launched this new keyboard called the Galleon, which, not gonna lie, love the name, that replaces the numerical pad with a 12-digit customizable Stream Deck style set of buttons, along with 2 knobs that you can adjust things with, and a small screen to display information. Someone in chat said she'll wake up anyways and say it's one of those mornings, isn't it? Let me prepare the usual for you. I don't have that much faith in the Echo Plus. But that being said, you probably could, if the integration is solid enough, you probably could just program an Echo routine to prepare the your usual in the morning anyway at like 6:30 a.m. Just have the coffee maker go ahead and make your usual without you having to say a word. Assuming the integration is allowed to be that deep. That honestly might be worth it. Not for me though, I don't drink coffee. But those who are coffee drinkers, yeah, I could see that being very sought after. Someone in chat said if it is running her, then it would. The coffee maker is running her, but at the same time, Bosch still has to let the Alexa API have that level of integration. So there still has to be a two-way street there. I hope they do it, because that would be very nice. And actually would be a much better selling point than being a voice-activated coffee machine. But we'll have to see when and if it launches. Remember, this is CES. It's very easy for nothing to be real. Everything is made of vapor. But yeah, Corsair announcing a keyboard that does have a Stream Deck built into it. Part of me wants it just because it's a fancy keyboard with knobs, but also I switch my keyboard back and forth all the time between two different computers. And God, I think that much technology in a keyboard would lag so hard switching between both the gaming computer and the streaming computer. And then of course, if I have the keyboard connected to the gaming computer, that means all the Stream Deck buttons would not connect to the streaming computer. So I'd still need another Stream Deck anyway, because during streams, most of the controlling I do is just through the Stream Deck. In fact, most of my production for the stream is done exclusively through a Stream Deck. So losing that when the keyboard's connected to the gaming computer, it's a tough sell. So this probably, when push comes to shove, isn't for me, but it is very interesting. And I'm sure for the right build, this is a game changer for the right kind of setup. It's just that I personally just have the exact wrong setup to where I would not get the benefit of that Stream Deck. Oh well, it just is what it is. What can you do? Fun one though, from the company Keytron, we have a wireless Q Ultra keyboard series, and that's their product name, that has up to 660 hours of battery life, as well as a keyboard made of marble for some reason. I'm not gonna lie, the keyboard of stone is really funny and very impractical, but it does amuse me. The 660 hours of battery life on a wireless keyboard though also sounds really, really good. Can you imagine a living room setup? Actually, how many days would that be? That's almost a month. Would that be a month solid? A little under a month, I think. Yeah, it'd be a little under a month. Still though, someone in chat said the springs would have to be rather sturdy too. There would have to be some very strong springs and some very strong switches to be able to support marble. I know someone out there has tried to make a solid gold mechanical keyboard, and they actually had to strengthen the switches because the weight of the keycaps would just have the key pressed down all the time on the standard switches that did exist before. And I'm not gonna lie, that was really, really funny. I would have imagined though, if you were to make a solid marble keyboard, you would just make it a capacitive keyboard. But nope, Keytron did not. It is mechanical. Meanwhile, HP has made the most boring keyboard looking thing known to man. This wireless keyboard and mouse, well, actually, it's not a wireless keyboard and mouse. The mouse is wireless. The keyboard is not. The keyboard is very wired. And it looks really, really boring. Here's the catch, though. That keyboard has an ARM-powered laptop in it. There is an entire desktop built into the keyboard. Granted, it is very power efficient. It's very low powered. You're not going to get a whole lot of, speed out of it, but it is, for space constrained places, a small full-on desktop inside a keyboard. Just bring your own monitor. Now, this is powered by the Ryzen AI 300 series. This is not the same as the Halo Strix. That's the Ryzen AI Pro Plus. Or I'm sorry, AI Max Plus. one. So this is just their mobile processor with a basic GPU in it. This is not, don't think for a moment you're getting PS4 grade graphics out of this. This is nothing insane, but it's going to get the job done, and it's going to do it pretty well. You know, not bad. Not a bad system at all. And yeah, it's using the Ryzen AI 300, which means it has an NPU in it. That means it's capable of AI. Yay. Or whatever. Yeah, we're kind of sick of the whole AI thing, but you know, it is what it is. And then, of course, we get into the real focus of CES. What was the thing that was shown the most? And I do mean the most at CES. It wasn't TVs, oddly enough. It's robots. Robots commanded CES. You know, NVIDIA's pivot point for when AI blows up in their face so that they can continue to print money. LG went ahead and showcased off a bipedal, or I don't think it's bipedal. I think it actually is like on wheels. But the point is they showed off a laundry folding robot. No, there's one of the jobs I do taken away by robots. Feels bad, man. Boston Dynamics showed off their bipedal robot that actually clearly functions instead of whatever the heck Elon Musk showed off. That definitely seemed odd. Now, Boston is saying that that their new Atlas robot will in fact start building Hyundai cars in 2028. So you got another job that robots are taking away. You know, I didn't mean this to be a they took our jobs segment, but man, this is very quickly becoming a they took our jobs segment. At least I don't think the Lynx M20, a competitor to the Boston Dynamic, what was that Spot? This is meant to be an all-terrain quadrupedal robot that is modular and capable of all kinds of various tasks, reconnaissance, search and rescue, just regular search, all kinds of various things, as well as various attachments, so it can go ahead and take other jobs that you didn't expect it to take. More and more are coming around. But now let's say you want something a little less post-apocalyptic, something a little less I don't have a job anymore. All right, how about a vacuum cleaner? We like robot vacuums, right? Anker went ahead is showing off their new $1,600 high-end robot vacuum. This is the Eufy RoboVac that will have a air diffuser built into its docking station. So when it charges and unloads, it'll also go ahead and help filter the air and diffuse essential oils into it, which will make you believe it's helping. Probably. Now, this whole thing will also have a solar wall light, a smart lock with face scanning. I'm sorry. Those are all things they're selling. They're selling a solar wall light, a smart lock with face scanning, a video doorbell. Like, the whole Eufy lineup is trying to expand more and more and more. And, you know, got some interesting things coming out of the company. The solar power wall light, we've seen these kind of things before. I actually have a couple at my shop where it charges during the day, and then at night it activates via motion sensor and just lights things up when things get sketchy. And so, you know, hey, interesting stuff coming out of Anker. We'll have to see how well it works. Kind of like we're going to be very curious how this one works, because there's one major nemesis to robot vacuums. It's one very clear weakness, and that is stairs. Words that strike fear in all robot vacuums. They can't climb stairs. And if their sensors don't detect stairs and they fall down them, that's it. They're done. A danger to them even stronger than cats. However, Roborock believes they have the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the robot vacuum with legs. it'll go ahead, use these little legs with wheels on them, advance a little bit, vacuum up that stair, finish climbing all the way up, and keep repeating until it does the entire set of stairs. And that is actually way cooler than I made it sound. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a pretty big advancement for, I was gonna say for Roombas, but those are gone now. We don't have Roombas anymore. We're getting closer and closer to these robot vacuums to actually replace having to vacuum. See, this is gonna be the real problem with robots. We want robots to take away chores, but we don't want robots to take away jobs. And this is going to be a very strange balancing act, because a lot of businesses just view jobs as professional chores. Whew. The future is either going to be very bright or very, very dystopian. I don't think there's going to be very much of an in-between, though I could be proven wrong. I probably will be proven wrong, so that's okay. Meanwhile, though, we do have new robot lawnmowers also being shown. This specifically from Lithely, a Roomba-style lawnmower that will go ahead, mow the lawn, whatever it finishes before it gets charged, it'll go ahead and remember that, go back, charge back up, and then keep repeating until it's done. Again, see, like, let's be honest. You probably can't afford a lawnmower robot, but man, it sounds really convenient. Oh, well, a man can dream. Still, good tech if it works as advertised. Now let's talk about a robot for the real 1%. Ultramarine is showing off a pool cleaning robot. And this one is extra unique because it'll go ahead and redock itself. We've seen a pool cleaning robot over at CES before. The thing is that the pool cleaning robot was just, you had to place it in the pool and then set it to go and then hope it would resurface, and then you have to go and charge it yourself. This one will dock itself on the surface. You set up its dock at the edge of the pool, set a schedule for it to run, it'll run, go back to charge, and keep repeating. And all you have to do is eventually take out the tray of all of the very, very wet muck it cleaned off the pool. Okay. Neat robot. You know, assuming you have a pool. But now, robots are cool and all. But let me show you something that's really interesting. You want something that's really going to go ahead and advance things? Something that's going to change the landscape of electronics? Well, you're going to have to wait until after the break, and that's when we'll go ahead and talk about it. The future of portable electronics. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Welcome back, Eagle Eyes on Tech. I'm Eagle Falcon. All right, so I teased we have a ground-breaking change coming to mobile devices everywhere. And that is easily the biggest change that's going to be hitting ever. The first solid-state battery. What? So let me explain what a solid-state battery is. A normal lithium battery is either made up of A, pouched cells that are then wired together and into the device, but also there are ones that are made of cylinders. Your portable battery packs usually have lithium polymer cylinders in them, but far more importantly, vehicles use these kinds of cylindrical cells all packed together. Solid state lithium batteries do not. This is a technology that has been sought after for a while because this drastically increases the power density of batteries. Like, this is something that could go ahead and increase the EV range of a vehicle by something close to, you're talking close to 50, 60, 70% range increasing. And with some electric vehicles, that's enough to now make it more viable. For small devices, that means you can include a smaller battery and include more components for other features, like a headphone jack. Please, like a headphone jack. Please. Pretty please. Just a little bit of headphone jack. No? Okay. But yeah, no, this is the technology that can... You've been wondering where in the EV space was the big push forward to get past one of the biggest hurdles, that being power and range. This is the next step in high capacity batteries. Chat going ahead and holding on to the fact that you did the lower end Motorola phones with headphone jacks. Headphone jacks not dead. Headphone jacks not dead. See, now that the Chromebook is dead, this is all they've got. This is all they've got to try and get at me. Don't worry. The $17 Motorola phones still have headphone jacks. Someone in chat says we got Macs. No, you don't. You don't have Macs, and Mac don't got this. I hate to break it to you, they still don't. Someone in chat says and SD slots. You know, actually, that was one thing we heard in rumors, that more higher end phones were going to reintroduce micro SD slots because of the RAM shortage and because of the SSD storage or shortage, that they're going to reintroduce micro SD slots so they could go ahead and introduce phones with lower internal capacity. I am waiting to see that. Cause like, yeah, the low end, the low end Motorola's have it and everything. Yeah, I get that. But I really do want to see it on higher end phones, you know? I really do. Honestly, I just want frickin'... I mean, first off, I want Motorola to go ahead and actually make a competent high-end phone. That's step one. Like, Motorola has been killing it in the budget market. I'd love them to go ahead and actually, like, push into the high-end phones, because I do like my high-end cameras. But I also really just want Samsung to get off their lazy butts. I am so sick of Samsung trying to be the next Apple and doing it badly. It's getting so old. Like, I still don't know what my next phone's going to be. It was for a moment going to be a Mac, yeah. It was for a moment going to be an iPhone, but I've decided against that. Oh well. In any case, though, solid state batteries, we're starting to now see them. That's a good thing. And we are already starting to see them being put to good use. Vehicles is most likely to be the target market for solid state batteries. And since smaller vehicles, you cannot fit a large amount of battery, it only makes sense to try and utilize the first solid state batteries for a motorcycle. You know, I'm not gonna lie, when Harley tried to introduce their e-bikes, I'm not sure, like, what was the range on their electric motorcycles? I honestly have no idea. Like, I know, like, actual e-bikes get, like, some decent range, but you also have the advantage on an e-bike to just use it like, oh, I don't know, a bike. Whereas a motorcycle, pretty sure you're not going to get that option. In fact, actually, does Harley even still make their all electric bikes, or they stop? Oh, that's right, the live wires. That's what they called it. They named it after Mountain Dew. That was a decision. I'm trying to get the page up, but for some reason it is loading very, very slowly. I think I might be the first one to load up a live wire page in 7,000 years, and the server's just like, wait, what? Someone wants to know something? What the frick? All right, I pulled up one. Its city range is 113 miles. And I pulled up one of their other models, 120 mile range, and the last model, 120 mile range. So not great. Not great at all. But you know, the solid state battery might actually, I don't think that would help that. If my estimates of like a 50% battery improvement are correct, we're getting that to about 160 170, maybe 180. And someone in chat said great acceleration. Can you I want you to imagine something for a minute. You know how there is like a significant amount of G-force you feel if you floor a Tesla? Imagine that on a motorcycle where there's no back of the seat to catch you. And someone in chat said you just need to turn off the fake does it really have a fake Harley exhaust noise on the electric bike? Oh, I get that it's a culture thing with Harley Davidson, that you want the louder, more rough and muscly sounding bikes, and that's why they make it sound louder than it actually is. Like, I get it. I totally get it. But fake exhaust noise on a Harley, really? Could you imagine if there was a fake V8 noise on the Mustang Mach-E? We just never make fun of them. Someone in chat said it's being a motorcycle, it's to be heard for safety. There's to be heard for safety, and then there's being loud and attention grabbing intentionally. Like, Harleys do it specifically for the attention. That is just kind of their brand, and that has been their brand since 19 always. Motorcycles normally do actually have a decent amount of sound to them, just because there is no sound deadening around the engine, because it's a motorcycle. There might be a few motorcycle riders in the family. That might be the reason I know this sort of stuff to a degree. That, and also I live near Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the home of Harley Davidson. You hear those rallies. Oh, you hear those rallies. Oh boy. But yeah, no, solid state batteries going into motorcycles. Not bad at all. And now for something completely different. L'Oreal has made a flat iron for your hairstyling. Someone in chat said it's time for Eagle to go demo one of these bikes. The problem is that although I know motorcycle riders in the family, I personally don't know how to ride a bike. A motorcycle, that is. I do know how to ride a bike, but not a motorcycle. My driver's license can drive many a vehicle. A motorcycle is not one of them. I'm trying to go for more wheels, not less. Anyway, L'Oreal has decided to go ahead and make a flat iron for hairstyling. But this one is unique. It is unique for one major reason. It uses infrared light to style your hair. And this is also, it's not using high heat that could damage your hair. I'm not an expert on infrared, but doesn't like high amounts of infrared also cause damage to hair? Am I the crazy one? I could be the crazy one, but I guess if it works, it works. Enjoy, L'Oreal, I guess. Meanwhile, though, maybe I have found my new phone. From Honor, we have a new high-end phone with a very interesting camera. It has a built-in gimbal, and I don't mean like some kind of I don't mean like some kind of like software gimbal or like an internal gimbal. I mean like it flips up and has a little mini gimbal built onto the camera. Someone in chat says Honor is Huawei. Then how to get to CES? I mean, if Honor is Huawei, then rip. Guess we'll never use it here, because there's still a ban on Huawei products because Huawei likes to implement spyware on things and keep denying it. But yeah, very interesting demo design. We'll have to wait and see how it all goes. Is Honor Huawei? I don't think it is. Chat is saying that it's a subsidiary of Huawei, but it also sounds like it was spun off into its own thing. I'll have to do more research onto that another time. But yeah, built-in gimbal from Honor. Interesting little thing. Anyway, enough of interesting. Let's go into nightmare territory. Ecovac went ahead and also announced this little what do you call this? Pet replacement? First, we were going ahead and taking jobs. Now we're taking chores. And now we're taking away pets. The Famabot Lil Milo is an AI-powered robot puppy that will follow with its LED eyes, develop its own AI-powered personality, and of course has multiple different outfits and and colors to choose from. Chat said, "Dang robot took my job," said the family dog. Oh, this is so CES. This is about as CES as it gets. Let me tell you. Every year there does seem to be some kind of robot pet. And here we go. Yet another robot pet. Ring is also at CES showing off all kinds of new sensors and trying to go ahead and build out more technology to use Amazon Sidewalk. Amazon Sidewalk is a peer-to-peer network that all Ring devices can go ahead and talk to and communicate with each other. These are going to specifically, actually, they even say what it is, using facial recognition, as well as an outdoor door sensor, as well as all your basic other security features, such as a motion detector, glass break sensor, panic button, a smoke and carbon monoxide listener, a flood and freeze sensor, temperature humidity sensor, air quality sensor, and the sump pump monitor. Man, Ring is hitting awfully close to home in this at this moment with that one, huh? There's of course also the Sidewalk powered smart plug, the smart light switch, smart fan controls, as well as a push button smart light remote. They also enabled a Sidewalk enabled Ring car alarm. This is the thing that actually is going to be using the Sidewalk peer-to-peer network so that if your car is broken into, it can still alert you even if it does not have internet access. Which, hey, decent technology. I'm salty about the sump monitor. I'm really salty about that one. Like, all I can do is just keep sighing at that one. Grumble, grumble. But yeah, Sidewalk, of course, is a low bandwidth, using the 900 megahertz radio spectrum. Other wireless devices also use it, such as the Ring Echo and other compatible devices, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Someone in chat said, "Don't worry, I'll be able to buy it soon and never fear of this happening again." I'll buy it and then it'll never happen again. That's more my luck. Meanwhile, though, we have a magic mirror, a technology-powered mirror, that will go ahead and predict your future health in 30 seconds flat. You look into the mirror, and it takes a selfie and learns your health data and how well you're aging. Now, technologically, this is very fascinating and very interesting if it can go ahead and see other things about your health and possibly go ahead and give tips to, extend your life. Go ahead and make sure you're living a healthier life. Very interesting technology. However, I already got my peers to judge my life. I do not need a mirror to also go ahead and tell me that, yes, you're fat. And don't sugarcoat it because you'll just eat that too. I feel like I don't need to pay hundreds of dollars to get that when you could easily go and ask your coworker. No, not that coworker. That coworker is just going to go ahead and say, "You look great. Don't worry about it." No. You talk to the brutally honest one. The one. Every workplace has one. The one that you say, like, "All right, how do I look?" And then they're going to like, "You look like," and then string out a long string of expletives. Someone in chat says that I say that dude that goes to the gym daily that lives a block away from you. No, not that guy, because that guy always thinks even when you look good, you look bad. That's the exact opposite of the yes man coworker. That's just trying to be nice. Meanwhile, though, we have Wi-Fi 8 starting to appear at CES even though most of you have not even switched to Wi-Fi 7, myself included. I have not switched to Wi-Fi 7. We were already starting to see Wi-Fi 8 starting to appear. Now, I don't believe the Wi-Fi 8 standard has been fully drafted yet. I'm pretty sure Wi-Fi 8 is just in a draft state now. But it is kind of funny. We're already starting to see D20 routers out of Asus trying to already get in just like new routers. Ooh. Someone in chat says 8 already. Freaking right. Like 7 still feels like it's brand new and 6 is still doing the job. What I really want to know though is with these D20 shaped routers, if I roll a NAT 1, does it shut down for an hour? Weird question, I know. But part of me wants to know. Meanwhile, though, L'Oreal, again, I thought I had all the L'Oreal ones together, my bad. Actually, I didn't realize I had 2. L'Oreal went ahead and showed off another product. And this one is far more nightmarish. They have introduced a beauty LED sleep mask that utilizes a skin-safe microcircuit to control the wavelengths of red and near-infrared light. Using high smart developments, the goal of the product is to demonstrate that you can combat fine lines, uneven skin tones, and other skin imperfections while firming and smoothing the skin. Or you can use it to traumatize your little grandsons as you try to rejuvenate your face, and they go ahead and say, "Grandmama or Grandpapa, I want to go ahead and play on the swing," and then they see you wearing this, and then they are scarred for life. And that's how you make serial killers. That right there. That's how it happens. These kind of products have existed for so long. I don't think a single one of them has ever proven to have actually applied any real benefit. And all of them look like they came straight out of a horror movie. And I think chat is 100% correct on this one. This definitely belongs on the new edition of the Necronomicon. Well, now you've been traumatized just like me. Listening to audio version. In that case, you're safe. You are 100% safe. Meanwhile, Kawasaki is introducing their robot horse. That is going into production now. So if you're like me and you don't know how to ride a motorcycle, don't worry. You'll be able to ride a small vehicle soon. You can ride a robo horse. I don't think that's going to be very effective, but it will be really funny. How quickly do you think you get pulled over on a robo horse? But you know, I wonder how many horsepower the robo horse has. What's the range on the robo horse? It doesn't look like we're getting any details on it. All we know, robo horse. So I guess there's that. Meanwhile, we do also have a new smart home device that came out of this. Introducing the MUI, a wooden smart home control panel. I don't know what to feel about this one. The whole point of this is that it's supposed to be basically various switches for features in a smart home, but it just looks like a panel of wood, so it fits in nice and discreet. However, isn't half the point of a smart home the fact that you really like the whole technological look, so you're trying to be not very subtle about the fact you have a smart home? Like, I don't know who this is for. What if you like the idea of basically a wood panel with hidden LEDs in it that make various pictures to make switches that you control various objects in your house? Hey, you know what? I hope it works for you and the style of home that you're going for. Now, I have one last thing to talk about from CES before we get to the awards. I bring you the most wasteful device from CES. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lollipop Star. A lollipop that plays music through your teeth using bone conduction while you suck on the lollipop. Sounds like a cute little concept, right? Got this interesting little stick. Probably have some unique way to go ahead and make a new piece of candy on the on the stick. Interesting concept. Here's the problem. Everything I just said isn't correct. I mean, other than the fact it plays music through bone conduction, that is correct. But there's nothing reusable about this. The company that has made this has outright said this is single use only. That means the bone conduction tech in there, the music playing tech in there, is all intended to be used once and then thrown away. No. Just no. I hate it. I just hate it. There is no part about this from a sustainability standpoint that sounds good. It's just a massive waste and is disappointing. All right, are you ready? You're not ready. You're not ready because those of you watching the video podcast are about to get flashbanged again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go ahead and make fun of The Verge, who has actually not put their Verge CES awards behind a paywall, most likely because they want you to actually click on the articles and then pay. But joke's on you, Verge. I laugh at you for free. Still. So, ladies and gentlemen, the best of CES. And yes, The Verge really did go ahead and use the Nightmare Beauty mask as their thumbnail for the video we're not going to watch. Oh boy, we're really in for it now. The first award that The Verge has announced is pretty reasonable. That is for the best monitor, going to the LG Display 27 4K RGB stripe OLED panel, which is a 27-inch 4K RGB accurate OLED panel intended for creators. Yeah, it's fine. It's very color accurate. It's a good monitor. It's fine. Is it the best monitor? Honestly, I'd say the monitor category is so close. As long as they didn't pick like something really stupid, they're going to get this right. So you know what? Good on you, Verge. You actually went ahead and started off with a not terrible pick. Their next category, the best keyboard. The Verge put that to the Corsair Galleon 100 SD. That being the Corsair keyboard with the Stream Deck LCD display and 2 control knobs that are customizable built into the keyboard, which again, I'm not going to lie, that probably is the correct answer. I've only seen a handful of keyboards, but as far as what I've seen, yeah, the Corsair one is definitely the correct answer. Now, the problem is that it's a $350 keyboard, which has to be a hard one to swallow, but still cool pick, cool tech. And I'd agree. It definitely is one of the cooler things to come out of CES this year. Next up, the best TV. And they gave that to the TLC X11L SQD Mini LED TV. Really? You pick one of the mini backlit LED TVs? So many TVs over there using RGB LEDs, which actually are the future of display technology. And you pick one of these that's just LED backlit? Not the worst pick in the world, but not a good pick. Oh well, that was your pick. The best laptop. That went to the Asus ROG Zephyrus Duo. So let me get this straight, Verge. You had a laptop there that starts at 16 inches and with the push of a button expands to 24 inches. You had the praised return of the Dell XPS line, redesigned to actually listen to customer feedback. You had countless numbers of other fantastic balanced laptops, but you pick the 2-in-1? Really? Is it because it was the only one you found that used an Intel Panther Lake processor and an RTX 5090, but will flip around to a tablet? I'm not gonna lie. I'm disappointed. Oh well. Best smart home device. The Aquara Smart Lock U400. Really? Who even is this? They went ahead and stated for this one, because I'm actually very curious how they got here. It's the first smart lock to support Apple's hands-free home key unlocking using ultra-wideband technology. The U400 can securely unlock as you approach with your phone in your pocket or your Apple Watch on your wrist. As a matter over thread device, it can work with any matter of compatible smart home platforms, including Google Home, Amazon Alexa, Home Assistant, and Samsung Smart Things. I want to say that's not true. They're saying this is the first smart lock to support Apple's hands-free home key unlocking. That technology existed for years. I don't think that's the first one, but I don't have the ability to go ahead and fact check them right now. But here's what I'll say about this. Any sort of smart lock, and I want to stress again, this is best smart home device. One smart lock, because it supports 2 to 3 year old tech, is the best smart home device out there. And also, if you believe a smart lock is going to be very, very secure, just remember there's still a mechanical lock on it. And you better hope that mechanical lock isn't crap. Because what good is a smart lock if all it takes is 2 jiggles of a wave rake to pick the lock? Always something to kind of remember when it comes to these smart locks. The best car is going to the Mercedes Drive Assist Pro. This is just Mercedes' next level self-driving sort of technology. It's getting better. It's about on par now with Tesla's autopilot. You know, it's getting better. Someone in chat went ahead and said the thing I was thinking very quietly, and that is simply, you are using an Aquarius Smart Lock U400. It can be opened with an Aquarius Smart Lock 400. Click. Oh man, if there's one thing people have been on the internet long enough when you can hear that video of McNally just saying you are using a Master Lock Model 176. It can be opened with a Master Lock Model 176. Then whacking against each other. But yeah, no, the Mercedes Drive Assist Pro actually is some pretty cool technology. I would say the award name, which The Verge tends to do, is badly written here. This should be best car tech, not best car. Just saying, just being technical. Being a little bit of a weenie there. Their next award, Best Health Tech. And this goes to the Withings Body Smart 2, a smart scale that tries to use the knowledge gained from the scale to predict your lifespan. Verge, how much do they pay you? Like, just wondering. The smart scale, really? Like, all it has is your body weight and maybe your pulse if it's using those sort of sensors on the scale and then hoping you're not wearing socks. Now, the company says it can go ahead and see all kinds of things just by measuring your feet. I've talked with enough doctors, both as a patient and just in casual passing when delivering their lab coats. You're not getting an accurate anything this way. And it's not a matter of you just don't understand. No, you're just not. Oh, it's just, does it really say $600 for this scale? They got ripped off. Whoever buys this is getting ripped off. I'm sorry. You just are. $600 for this smart scale. That definitely is not going to do half the stuff it does. Best wearable. The Nightmare L'Oreal LED face mask. No. No. Now, you see, this award I do agree with. This is definitely the best wearable because nothing is going to terrify anyone else quite like this mask. You know, you thought you could get a scary mask from Spirit Halloween. Oh, no. You see, this is now for sure forever going to be the best Halloween costume you've ever had for life. because nothing could ever be more terrifying than this monstrosity you're putting on your face. And if you ever wondered, Eagle, are you sure you don't go too hard on the Verge? Are you sure they're as stupid as you make them out? Because, I mean, they can't be that dumb, right? They went ahead and put a silicone LED mask that rejuvenates your face as best wearable. You know what's a better wearable at CES? The t-shirt at the souvenir stand that says CES 2026. That is a better wearable than this. Do they actually have the price for this thing? No, of course not. Oh, that'd be convenient. We can't have that. We'll never know how much this nightmare costs. Honestly, if this nightmare costs more than $20, you got ripped off. The best hair dryer / lamp. The best hair dryer / lamp goes to the Dream Halo, the only hair dryer / lamp. A device that is very clearly supposed to be both a hair dryer and a lamp. You can admit it, Verge. They paid you money and you invented a new category just for them. Someone in chat asks, is that Weird Al? No. But yeah, we have a $700 giant hair dryer with LEDs. That's a thing that exists. Am I sure that's not Weird Al? Yes. The best gaming. Okay. All right. Best gaming at CES. We have seen a gaming tablet. We have seen a gaming laptop with an expanding screen. We have seen the revival of the Dell XPS. We have seen Razer go ahead and push out a ton of new gaming products. What could The Verge consider best gaming? You know what, chat? What do you think it's going to be? One person in chat said the Switch 2 DRM is the best gaming. Man, you're on the right track. But no, it is not that. It is even dumber. You're never going to guess it because it's too stupid. It's this Xbox controller. This Xbox controller from 8-Bit Dough. This is going to be a $150 controller that is just better. This isn't me being too lazy to read the whole thing. They literally just say it's just built better. 8-Bit Dough demonstrates it can offer a better product than the console makers and compete with other high-end controller makers. Why is this best gaming? They also say that the 3E is also extensively customizable and works with 8-Bit Dough's Ultimate Software X, so you can remap its controls, which means it's also only customizable on PC. Yeah, I how much do they pay you? Like, there's no other explanation as to how a controller wins best gaming other than they paid you. Like, it's painful. It's painful how obvious it is. Here, Verge. All right. Let me show you something. All right. This is gonna be crazy. Okay. Let me show you something. I have here another Xbox controller. Ooh, look at that. It's crazy. It's an Xbox controller. You know what's even crazier? I can do this with my Xbox controller. Oh my God. I can take off the faceplate and clean it and maintain the controller. Oh my God, that's a feature you never see on other controllers. Oh, and also I can do this. Oh, I can replace and customize parts. Whoa. I just figured I'd mention that, seeing as how you're so easily impressed. Chad also pointing out the biggest point there at all. I don't have an Xbox. I have an Xbox controller. The best phone. And that goes to a phone that didn't even debut at CES. I mean, granted, the Samsung Galaxy Z Trifold probably is the most impressive phone at CES. But here's my counterpoint. The phone officially launched over a month ago. Like, It's just kind of also here, you know? But I mean, okay, fine. And honestly, like as far as trifold phones go, I do like the Samsung one the most because it does protect its own internal screen. Now, you might think, oh, well, it's at CES. That means new info for the US, right? Because it's only available in Korea. No new info. We don't have a US release date yet. We don't have a US price yet. The US price is going to be $2,600, by the way. I mean, what? Who said that? 2,600? No. We don't know that yet. Oh, 2,600. Just expect that. The best audio product that goes to the Fender Mix headphones. Oh, by the way, yes, the trifold does have no headphone jack, but literally the phone is too thin to have a headphone jack. It is, I'm not even kidding. The section of the trifold are so thin, it is thinner than a headphone jack. It is the various sections are the thickness of a USB-C port. Like it cannot get thinner without removing the USB-C port. It's physically impossible. But anyway, to these generic looking headphones that apparently are the best audio product in the show. They said, I've listened to a lot of headphones in my career to the point where sometimes it feels like a chore. So when I put on a set of headphones to my ear and immediately enjoy what I hear, I take notice. From the moment I put the Fender Mix headphones to my head, I knew I found something special. Okay, so you found good headphones at the show. They also say that it does have 100 hours of battery life, has under the cup USB-C to charge, and does have a 3.5mm port to listen to passively without going ahead and taking a charge. Yeah, I feel like this is another one where they were just paid. Like, your best in show is just these random wireless headphones. There's just nothing special about them. They're just headphones. They're just wireless headphones. That's it, really? You know, actually, I think we've really cracked the code because I've realized there's no links to articles on any of these. That's the reason why these aren't behind the paywall. They got paid by all the products. Silly me. Zone in chat says Anchor software headphones have that feature and it's way better. It's not just that. There's like other like very, very, very reputable brands in the audio space that have done AirPod Max clones and have done them very well. Anchor has some, but you also have Sonos that's done some, AKG that's done some. I'm blanking on every other name. Like, there's plenty out there. And you're going to tell me these randos went ahead and did way better, but you can't tell me why? Someone in chat said this article is a paid advertisement in small print somewhere. Don't they have to disclose that? Best Robot is their next award. The Robo Rock Ceros Rover. Okay, you know what? I actually do have to give them credit. I actually do agree. The stair climbing robot vacuum actually is pretty cool. I can't deny them this one. There's a lot of cool robots at CES. This one is probably one of the cooler ones, the most practical ones, and will most likely actually be a real product. So I can't fault them on this one. They have a price on this one? No. All right, I can't fault them on that one. Best surprise. The best surprise award goes to the ambushing squirrel in the bathroom. No, I'm kidding. That actually would be a really big surprise, though. No, best surprise goes to the HP Elite Board G1A. Really, that's what surprised you the most? I mean, yeah, it's impressive the amount of hardware that HP got into what looks like the exact size of a portable keyboard. Because there is a full desktop inside that keyboard. It is impressive engineering. But really, that's your biggest surprise? Really? Not the laundry folding robot? Not the submersible pool cleaning robot? Not the robot that probably wanted to punch you in the dick when you least expected it? Not the AI waifu in a jar that no one saw coming? The frickin' ARM computer in a keyboard? Like, this shouldn't be a surprise. You're The Verge. You have seen freaking computers in a thumbstick before. Man, if this is your best surprise, you guys didn't explore the show floor very much. The best promise, which may in fact be the vaguest award name I have ever heard. Best promise. Although, Grant, I have to agree, this probably is the best promise. That being Donut Labs solid state battery. I went into great detail as to why a solid state battery actually is very important to the future of a lot of electronic devices. These batteries are supposed to be much more energy dense and are going to bring huge advancements, especially in the EV space. So yeah, it's hard for me to disagree with this, other than the name of your award. The name of your award sucks, but you know, you do you, Verge. You do you. The best backpedal. The best backpedal award. That is the dumbest award name. Never mind. This is the dumbest award name ever. This is right here. The best backpedal. You could probably guess what the best backpedal is. You can absolutely guess. Yeah, you guessed right. It's the Dell XPS. Dell backpedaling everything they did the previous year, renaming their entire laptop line, and switching back to using their traditional names. Yeah, it's the best backpedal because Dell actually listened to their customers. Unlike The Verge, who still assumes that their readership has the IQ of expired mayo. Actually, they might be right. They might actually be right in that regard. The best use of e-ink. What? Best use of e-ink goes to the SwitchBot weather station. So either A, SwitchBot went ahead and paid The Verge for this one, or B, there was no other use of e-ink. So let me tell you why this is not the best use of e-ink. E-ink is a very interesting display technology because it goes ahead and does not require electricity to keep displaying an image. When you cut power to an LCD screen or any other kind of screen, the image goes away instantly. With e-ink, it does not. So only needs to be refreshed every so often. It's why e-ink actually works great for books. It's also easier to read on the eyes. The thing is that when you have a weather station that's giving all these details, which are also in Chinese, these details are going to update pretty frequently. We've got visibility, we've got humidity, we've got, what's that supposed to be? Wind direction? That's wind speed right there at 2.1 meters a second. Oh, actually, no, someone in chat's right. I think this is Japanese. Yeah. No, these characters are definitely Japanese. That's my bad. I don't know either, though. So the thing is that, like, this kind of information does not stay static for very long. So it is going to refresh, probably once every 5 minutes. Like, I would argue, like, oh, right, we have a clock. Never mind. It's going to refresh every minute at the bare minimum. In fact, here they even said there are more digital picture frames using e-ink's advanced color e-ink technology. But instead, they picked the weather station. Honestly, there was previously, and I hope there were some this year at CES as well, there's been large black and white and color e-ink displays. And when I say large, I mean like 20 inches that were being used as info kiosks or just like digital bulletin boards. That, I'd argue, is a better use for e-ink than this. But clearly The Verge got paid, so they went ahead and did their thing. Oh, this is The Verge, I know. Next award, the best thing we'd actually buy. Verge, are you implying you wouldn't buy any of these other things? You're just saying they're the best, but you wouldn't actually buy frickin' anything? Any of them? The best thing to actually buy. The Ideas Calsup Bluetooth speaker, a $10 cubed Bluetooth speaker. Are you for real? I swear, with The Verge, I am talking to an ADHD ward. These are real people that write real articles. And you know what their reason is? They're saying that there's no shortage of cheap Bluetooth speakers on the market. But thanks to IKEA, we got one that's reliable at just $10. If I'm ever threatened by a Verge reporter, I feel confident I can go ahead and get back to safety thanks to jingling keys. The best concept goes to the Lenovo Legion Pro rollable gaming laptop. Oh, hey, look, there's the best there's the best gaming product right there. We could have given it to that instead of, a random controller. Remember at the start of this whole thing when it actually seemed like The Verge actually went ahead and had functional brain cells? Remember that? Man, good times. Yeah, no, it's a good concept. I can't blame them for this. This just should have been in an earlier section. There was tons of other concepts you could have picked, but nope. You picked the rollable laptop. That should have been in gaming, but you didn't. Of course they made that, which went to the Framic Smart Canvas, an e-ink, a color e-ink smart picture frame. So you pick a weather station for your best e-ink device, and then you make a new category called Of Course They Made That, and picked a color e-ink display. You know what? Of course they picked that. Of course they picked that. Of course they went ahead and did this sort of thing. This is why The Verge makes me feel dumber. I also thought for a brief moment that this hand had like 6 fingers, because they're holding this a little odd. And I wouldn't put it past The Verge to go ahead and use generative AI to put out their pictures. Next up, the most irrationally loved product. And that went to the Robo Skinwalker that's going to replace your pet, Little Milo. Why? Yep, well, when I talk about the most irrationally loved product, I would say that horror LED mask you put as the best beauty product that's not going to do anything as the most irrationally loved product, but you just got to do what you do. Yeah, RoboDog, I guess. Whatever. You could have had anything else, but you picked the RoboDog. The most fun award goes to the Minverse. The what? All right, so what the heck is this thing? This year's CES was a blur of robots that don't work. Vacuums, lawnmowers, AI chatbots shoved into just about anything. You mean like the dog that you picked earlier for most loved thing? Yeah, that thing? In any case, it was a welcome surprise when I stumbled across the booth for Haply, a company that makes haptic controllers for interacting with 3D objects. You picked another controller? Most fun. And you picked a haptic controller where it controls a 3D demo on a screen. Moving on. The best sequel, The Bird Buddy 2. A bird feeder with a camera in it, so you can watch the birds eat. It's the best sequel. This is the real purpose of the Verge Awards, my friends. It's to try and understand what the writers are thinking when they just make up and invent a new category, only to give it to the dumbest thing you've ever seen. Okay, it's a bird feeder with a camera in it. Oh, but it's better than the previous one. Okay. Is this necessary to anything? No? Okay. All right. I understand now. The award for thing I want to try the most, the Clicks Power Keyboard. You know what offends me the most here? Okay. So with the Clicks power, blah, 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 blah. This is so stupid, I'm losing the ability to speak. The Clicks Power Keyboard is something that has already existed. It is an add-on to a phone that gives you a BlackBerry-like physical keyboard to type with. But here's the kicker. Not only is the Clicks Power Keyboard not new, but it's something that The Verge has tested before. How can you give it the thing you want to try the most when you've already tried it? It's not even like, oh, they tried a different model. No. They have tried this exact model. They have tried this exact product before. This literally can't be the thing you wanted to try the most because you already tried it before. I want to raise my voice more, but it's almost 1 a.m. So I have to keep my voice down. But this is this is the thing where it's just like, my God, you're just messing with us, aren't you? Finally, the best in show. Oh man, what sort of infuriating thing have you done, Verge? What incredibly stupid device did you find at CES that you deemed was the best in show? Because it's clear you don't care. It's clear you don't have integrity, and you are still a new news organization that continues to have a collective IQ of room temperature, possibly in Celsius. So what did you morons pick as your best in show? The Lego Smart Brick. You know what? Honestly, yeah, that's actually kind of fine. You know what? The Lego brick that goes ahead and that has the technology to go ahead and change lights and has various mechanical feedback and whatnot based on how they're connected and possibly being programmable. You know what? No, actually, that's kind of an okay candidate for best in show. I'm not actually mad at that one. You know what? I don't know if it's the best in show, but in a year where most technological high-end devices most likely will never see the light of day or ever live up to the hype because they are integrated so heavily with AI, and AI just tends to never perform as well as it should. You know what? Cute little kid smart Lego brick that helps kids develop an engineering mindset. That ain't a bad choice at all. So you know what? Good on you, Verge. You have managed to make a small handful of good choices. So I'd say overall for your awards this year, you get a 2 out of 10. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Eagle Eyes on Tech. Thank you so much for listening, and I do encourage you to check out my other works, youtube.com/EagleFalcon and twitch.tv/EagleFalcon. Take care, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye. You know, I do have to ask though, what is the battery life on a Lego brick? Like, I have to assume it's not much, right? Like, for the most part, this is going to go ahead and be like relatively low powered. I assume it's going to charge wirelessly because I can't imagine you go ahead and charge. Could you imagine a spaghetti plate of USB-C cables charging each individual Lego brick? Now that would be hilarious. No. It's got to charge wirelessly, right? That's the only way this would work. But in either case, I'm curious to see how that develops. Knowing my luck, though, it's not going to develop at all and be a massive disappointment.